and go live. Check 1, 2. Testing, testing, check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I believe you can. All right, here we go. Episode 2. Attila is learning the Elektron Digitakt. Oh, hey, Nick. Oh, cool. I'm glad to hear it's loud and clear. That's awesome. This is actually the first time I'm doing this for reals live. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, just a quick recap as to what is going on here. So basically, I'm learning the Elektron Digitakt, and this is the second live stream session that I'm doing. Yesterday I did the first one where we just started familiarizing ourselves with the panel controls. The way I'm doing this whole thing is I'm just going through the manual, and I'm basically reading the entire manual from beginning to end. And I'm going to start with the quick start guide, which is a good 36 pages long, and if it goes well, then I'm going to do the same thing with the manual. And yesterday I got all the way to page 13, paragraph 18, which is the record keys. So I was just going through what the actual keys do. Again, a quick recap. I have absolutely no freaking clue what this thing can do. I just got it a couple of days ago in the mail, and I decided to really get into it and learn it basically from the basics, and by going through the manual, just basically master everything about this thing. Okay, is there a way for me to see? Sorry, just bear with me. 1 second. Okay, cool. Sorry, I have a few computers going on here supporting the stream, and I just wanted to make sure that everything looks and sounds good. Nick says it does, so that's good. Okay, so where was I? So yeah, yesterday I started learning about this thing, and again, I don't know anything about any Elektron device. The only Elektron device that I have had is the Analog Heat, the Mark I. This is an old older version. That's the one that I've had for about 2 years. Sounds amazing. It's a distortion module, really cool. I've been using that. Other than that, the Digitone and the Digitakt are brand new, and the reason why I decided to learn them is because they seem to be the one and only hardware synths out there that I can seamlessly integrate into my DAW by virtue of using the Elektron Overbridge, which again is something that I don't know shit about at this point, but I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn, because I really, if you guys know me, then you will know that I do like to take advantage of using, basically merging the benefits of analog external gear with the flexibility of working in a digital audio workstation, and Elektron seems to be doing that at a pretty good level, as far as I'm concerned. So, where was I? Yeah, so if you need a bit of clarification as to why I have this Ableton set up here, you can either refer back to yesterday's class or stream, if you will, which I put on a playlist on my YouTube channel. So feel free to refer back to that one if you please. But just to quickly explain, the reason I'm running everything through Ableton is because I am using the Overbridge, and I am running the audio through USB as opposed to using the physical audio outputs of the Digitone. It's just better for my setup here because this way I can use my native audio interface and I don't have to switch to the Digitakt. So that's why I have a Ableton session running as well, but we're not going to do a whole lot in that as of yet because, again, I'm just learning the basics. Okay, I'm planning to do this for about an hour, so I'm gonna set a timer, and you know, if I'm into it and if all goes well, then we can keep going. If I get bored, then we might quit it sooner. Who knows? We'll play it by ear. Let's see how it goes. Okay, I did manage to get to the point yesterday where I learned a little bit about the storage architecture of the Digitakt, and I actually got to a point where I laid down a very simple my first drum pattern, if you will. Which sounds as such. And now we're just gonna keep going with reading the manual, and I hope everything looks well and sounds well. So I'm gonna shut up now and keep going. So we were on record. Next one is track key. So press track plus one of the trigger keys to select a track for editing. The secondary function accesses the chromatic mode. Okay, so track key, where is the track key? This. So let's say I wanna edit this first track. Okay. And we are gonna get into, I'm sure later on, what actual editing means, because right now, what I know I can do with this thing in terms of editing is basically dial in some effect sands, which is delay or reverb, do some panning and whatnot. So I don't know how I'm able to edit tracks as of yet. We'll get to that, so let's keep going. Function key, press hold and press another key to access the secondary function of that key. The secondary functions are written in orange on the Digitakt front panel. Okay, cool, so that's good to know. So basically if I press and hold function and hit, let's say, reverb, then it's going to bring up the reverb menu where I can now mess around with the reverb settings. So let's play with that a little bit. Okay, I do remember I figured out how to mute tracks yesterday. opposite with the... Okay, yeah, so if I hold the function key, then I can mute tracks with that. So let's just... Okay. So let's play with this snare here. So function, delay, and now I'm in the delay menu. Okay. So here I can, okay, cool. Dial in some, what do you call it, feedback? Stereo width. Oh, I see, so this kind of turns this into a ping pong delay, if you will. I wonder what this is. Oh, ping pong on and off, okay. Okay, I mean, this would be delay time. Which I'm sure I'm gonna learn how to synchronize that to the tempo. Yeah, because right now that sounds like S. Okay, let's go back to the M menu, and I'm just gonna, oops, not send anything to the delay right now. Okay, cool. Keep moving. Level data sets the overall volume level of the active track. It is also used for setting parameters and scrolling through lists. The secondary function opens the sound browser. So number 21, that's this guy here, level data. So I can, again, I'm just gonna mute everything except for track 1. Okay, so that's basically the track level. And yeah, as I figured yesterday, because there seem to be 2 volume levels, this one would be the volume level of the sample itself, and then this level would be the track's volume fader, if you will. Okay, moving on. Level data 22, rear panel connections. I'm not gonna go through these because, you know, I mean, power switch, great, DC input, USB in, I'm utilizing that. MIDI through, I'm not gonna bother with MIDI right now because I'm running MIDI through USB, and that's good enough for me. MIDI out, sync A, MIDI in, input left, right. So yeah, so inputs, from what I understand, you can run any sort of signal into the Digitakt, and you can sample from external sources. So I think eventually I'm probably going to send the Digitone's audio out into the Digitakt's audio in, so I can sample from the Digitone, which I'm sure is possible. Output speaks for itself, headphones speaks for itself. Okay, setting up and starting Digitakt. Well, we got there kind of, sort of, so it's all set up and it's all been started, if you will. Number 5, if you want to sample audio from external sources, yeah, so like I said, I'm probably gonna set that up, switch on all units, that's good. Okay, sound architecture, so let's have a closer look at this one here. Just 1 second, I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so sound architecture. The illustrations below show the Digitakt sound architecture with its 8 audio voices, 2 send effects, delay and reverb, and master effect, which is a compressor. Okay, so the audio voices go as follows. Sample playback engine, to overdrive, to amp, which is modulated by the amp envelope. So these parameters up here, attack, hold, decay, and well, overdrive is not part of the envelope, obviously. Then it goes through the multi-mode filter, which again yesterday we determined that it is high pass, low pass, or off, and that's all that I'm going to say about that. Filter envelope affects the filter modulation, obviously, and then it hits the panning section. After the pan, oh, that's good to know. So the pan is actually before the effect sends. So if you pan your sound to the left or to the right, that will obviously be sent in that configuration. So it won't be, if the pan position would be post delay and reverb send, then panning wouldn't affect the signal hitting the delay and reverb send. And then from there it goes to the mixer. Okay, effects, from effect sends, delay to mixer. Oh, you can send the delay back into the reverb. Oh, that's awesome. Is that so? Okay, let's say, hold on. Okay, so hold on, where am I? First of all, amp. Okay, now let's go to the delay, which I can do by function and hitting the filter knob. So here, yeah, okay, so I can send the delay into the reverb. Okay, that's definitely good to know. So it would be delay with the option to send the delay to the reverb, and then the reverb will go to the mixers. Okay. And then the delay returns from audio voice. Oh, okay, so this is basically the mixer, audio voices, delay returns, and reverb returns. And then from there we can hit a compressor if it's enabled. Let me see what's going on here in the master section. Okay, so basically the master section is more or less about the compressor itself. Okay, so from the mixer we can hit the compressor, or oh, it looks like there's an option to have the reverb bypass the compressor. Okay, that's smart, because sometimes I definitely don't want to put a reverb through a bus compressor. And then from there we're going out to the big world. Okay, the user interface, number 4. The screen shows all the information needed for real-time interaction and editing on the Digitakt. The 8 data entry knob parameters shown will vary depending on the given situation. Below is the main interface screen of the source page. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 1 is the current bank and pattern. Yeah. Got to there yesterday. So C So C01 basically stands for bank C and pattern 1. So if I switch banks and patterns, if I choose another bank, basically bank A, so these 8 buttons are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H for banks. So if I go to bank A and pick another pattern, let's say 3, now we're on A03. Cool. Let's go back to my magical drum pattern here. Okay. The number 2, the current pattern name. Okay, that's good to know. Number 3, the current tempo. Number 4, 8 track parameters. They show what the data entry knobs control and their current parameter values. Okay. Just for shits and giggles, let's switch to this sub-aquatic preset, because that's what the screen is talking about. And it's on the source page. Number 5, the main volume setting of the active track. Use the level data knob to change the volume setting. Okay. Number 6, the current track number letter. Where is it? Oh, so it does show. Okay. So this part here shows which track I happen to be on. And number 7, track type, audio, which is indicated by SMP or sample. Track or MIDI. Oh shit. Okay, that's what my problem is. Do you remember yesterday how I couldn't figure out why the hell what these meant over here? I was on a MIDI track. Yes, I was on a MIDI track. Okay, so the top 8 tracks, the top 8 buttons correspond to the 8 audio tracks which hold the samples, and the bottom 8 will correspond to the 8 MIDI tracks which I can use to control other external gear via the MIDI out connection of the Digitakt. Okay, so yesterday I was in one of the MIDI tracks, and that's why I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Okay, awesome. This is why you read a manual. Okay, screen navigation. Use the arrow keys up, down, left, or right to navigate menus or submenus. The level data knob can be used to scroll through menus and lists quickly. All right, I'm sure we'll get to use that sometime soon. Yes is used to affirm, and no is used to negate, deselect, or go back one or more steps. Okay, cool. 4.2, parameter editing. Okay, so this is, I think, where it's gonna start getting interesting. Parameter editing. The data entry knobs are used to change the values of the track parameters. The positions of the parameters on the screen correspond to the physical locations of the knobs on the front panel. Some of the parameters on the screen tell you what data entry knob controls that particular parameter, for example, E in brackets. Okay, yeah, so basically these 8 main icons in the middle or most of the screen space as far as I can see. Yeah. Shows what the what these 8 A2H encoders happen to be doing at any given time. All right, good to know. So the parameters are adjusted in larger increments if you press down the data entry knob while turning it. This makes it quicker to sweep through the whole parameter range. Okay, so I think I got to this yesterday. So if I'm just turning this, then it goes fairly slow. If I press it down, oh yeah, that's a much faster adjustment. A lot less precise, obviously, but sometimes that's what's needed. Press data entry knob plus no to reset the parameter to the default value. This is what I was trying to figure out yesterday. I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to reset this. So how do you do it? Press data entry knob plus no to reset the parameter. Oh, okay. If I just touch it and press no, then it doesn't. No, these are not touch sensitive, obviously. Okay. Okay, cool. That's good to know, because I was trying to figure that out yesterday, how to reset a knob to its default position. Okay, press parameter key plus play to reset all the parameters in the selected parameter page to default values. Okay, so press parameter key, where is? Nope. Okay, come again. Press parameter key plus play to reset all the parameters in the selected parameter page to default values. I don't know. Is there, what am I missing? Press parameter plus play. Isn't this the play button? Plus play. Anyway, I'm sure we'll have a eureka moment about that later on, and we'll get back to it. Press and hold a parameter key to see the exact values of the parameters. Oh, okay. I wonder if that switches back on its own. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, so the overdrive, press and hold, and it shows the actual value. And again, these values go from 0 to 127, which are obviously MIDI values. Good to know. Okay, parameter value jump. Pressing function while editing certain parameters will make the parameter values jump to appropriate positions. The time of the delay, for example, doubles and halves the value, while the sample tuning will jump in whole octaves. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So let's come back to this. Hold on, where was I? Because I left my little pattern here. Okay. Delay. So function. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so this is what I was looking for basically when I was trying to figure out how to sync the delay to the tempo. You have to press and hold function and then turn the encoder. Otherwise, it just gives you a continuous selection, which sometimes sounds weird with a delay. So function. One quarter dotted. Quarter. 1/8 dotted. So that was the parameter value jump. Okay, 4.4 function key press combinations. The standard way to use the function key in combination with other keys is to press and hold function and then make a short press on the second key in the combination. For some key combinations, it is also possible to access a submenu by pressing and holding function plus second key for a second. Okay, that sounds a bit deeper than what I'm willing to get into right at this moment, so we'll get back to that. 4.5, quick scrolling. Scroll through menus using the level data. Quick scrolling is possible on many menus. Press function plus the up and down keys to move the cursor one menu page at a time. Quick scrolling. Where would I be using the scrolling? I'm sure it's like when you're trying to load saved presets or things like that. Other than that, where else did I see an actual list? Oh, the LFO. Yeah, and that's not what that does. Okay. Never mind. We'll get back to that. 4.6, copy, clear, and paste. Copy, clear, and paste commands are available in a lot of contexts. Pressing function plus record to copy. Press function plus stop to paste. Press function plus play to clear. Paste and clear operations is undone by repeating the key press combination. See the different sections in the... Yeah, we shall do so. So I'm sure this copy and paste is going to be one of like an integral part of, you know, creating patterns and whatnot on this beast. And eventually it's going to become second nature to do that. However, I'm not there yet, since I haven't even made one pattern other than this ridiculous sounding beat. Man, I should sell that. Or not. Preferably not. Okay, the naming screen. Oh, here we go. The naming method is identical for the various naming situations that appear when you save samples, sounds, projects, etc. And I hope to God this is something that is quick and easy to do, because I really hate wasting time flipping through the alphabet 147 times when I'm trying to save a preset. Although that's pretty much the only way to do it, since it doesn't have an actual keyboard on it, QWERTY keyboard. So anyways, let's see. The left and right arrow keys are used to navigate between the characters, and turning the level data knob or pressing the up and down arrow key selects the character. Okay, so that's, I mean, it is what it is. That's just how it works. Function plus no will erase letters. Press and hold function to access the pop-up naming menu. Okay, so how would I save this, the name of, because I did save this pattern and then it gave me the message that it has been saved in a temporary location or whatnot, and it gave it the untitled name. So I'm not sure. Yeah, pattern save to temp area. I'm not sure how I can rename it. Okay, maybe further down the manual will tell me how I can rename it. Yeah, it basically just tells you how to do it once you're at the point where you can name something, but I'm sure it will tell me later how to actually get to the point where I can name stuff. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, 4.8 Overbridge, and I did say I wasn't going to spend too much time with the Overbridge because I want to learn the actual device first, but let's just read it. The Overbridge software suite enables a tight integration between, yes, correct, when using Overbridge, the user interface for the Digitakt will present itself as a clearly laid out plugin window in your DAW. Access, edit, or automate parameters for sound shaping on screen. And that's the reason why I'm starting to fall in love with Elektron stuff because of Overbridge. Always find your device preset parameters in the same state as you left them when you return to your DAW project with the convenient total recall functionality. That's cool. To use Overbridge, you need a Digitakt, a USB. Okay, we're over that. Read more about Overbridge on the Elektron website. Okay, and we're just like I said, we're going to get into that later on. I'm curious though if, because this is the Overbridge panel, let me make it a bit bigger, or even bigger. Swap to this view here. So I'm curious to know if I'm going to be adjusting parameters here on the Digitakt, if that's going to be represented on, oh yeah, it is. No shite, that's awesome. Okay, so basically when I'm making a change on the actual device, that is represented in the Overbridge VST plugin. That's freaking amazing. And vice versa, I presume. Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. So that's, I mean, that's right there, because I know now that I can probably automate this right here, which I can see, and that's the reason why I'm really starting to fall in love with Elektron devices, because you can do that. And honestly, I don't know anything else, any other hardware synth that does that. There are a lot of ways to do it, obviously. A lot of ways to work around and making connections between your DAW and external synths, and I actually made an entire masterclass about that, so check that out on Production Music Live. I actually think there is a link in the description section below to that. But this makes it super freaking clean and simple and easy, and so far Overbridge hasn't crapped out on me yet, so far it's been working. Like I said, at about a 95% accuracy, which is good. That's good. I did try to do the same thing with the Sub-37 editor, and I know I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, and maybe Moog will listen and fix the fucking thing, because it just doesn't work. It's such a cool idea, and it looks so good. And I would so love to be able to use the Sub-37 editor, but it just doesn't work. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I could not make it work. I can make it work on a MacBook, but I don't use a Mac, I use PC. So I don't know, Moog, if you're listening, can you please, figure that out? That would be awesome. Okay, so that's that about Overbridge for now, obviously, and I will get back to that much later on when I actually know more than 1% about how this Digitakt works. Let's get back to reading the manual. How much time do we have? Oh, we're about halfway through. Actually, I'm starting to lose my voice. Okay, class compliant device. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that right now. Experimenting with patterns. Okay, cool. Here we go. So this is more hands-on stuff, which makes me smile a bit more, other than you know, all that dry stuff about what button is called what. Okay, you can find a number of preset patterns, sounds and samples in the Digitakt. Follow the instructions below to get started exploring your new instrument. Woohoo! Number 1, press bank and then press trigger 9 key to select bank A. The screen reads bank A, select pattern. Yay. Note to self, don't drink carbonated beverage on a live stream. You didn't hear that. Okay, press trigger 1 key to select the first pattern of bank A. So we're in bank 9, pattern 1. Bank 9. If I want to select another bank, then I presume I would select another bank this way. Okay, press play to listen to pattern A1. Yay, woohoo, we are listening to pattern A1. Press pattern and then press trigger 2 to select pattern A2. It will start once pattern A01 has reached its end. Okay, so I figured, I was trying to figure that out yesterday when I'm in one pattern and the Digitakt is actually playing, and if I stop it and switch to another pattern, then it's gonna start playing it right away. However, if a pattern is already playing and I select another pattern while it's playing, then it will wait until the end of the current pattern before switching to the next one, which is, I mean, that's reasonable and really good. Okay. Press stop to stop playback. Okay, cool. 5.2, using chromatic mode. You can use the trigger keys to play any audio track sample chromatically. Okay, because right now I can, by virtue of using the Overbridge, which I have on a MIDI track. So if I record enable this MIDI track or arm it, then I can use my MIDI controller to play the sample chromatically. But evidently, you can also do that on the Digitakt itself using the chromatic mode. So, select the audio track to play chromatically by pressing track plus one of the... Okay. Okay, quick question. What is the difference? I thought that if I just hit any of these 8 buttons, then it will select the track. What's the difference between doing that and pressing and selecting, like pressing down the track key and then selecting the actual track? Because that also switches to the track that I'm trying to edit. Okay, I'm sure that will be clarified later on. I'm just gonna follow what the manual says. So press function plus track, by pressing track plus one of the trigger 1 to 8. Okay, so I'm gonna select the first one and press function plus track to enter chromatic mode. Oh, okay, and look, then this lights up like piano keys. Yeah, those would be the black ones, and this would be the white ones on the bottom. So C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and so on and so forth. Okay, play the trigger keys. The active track sound will be pitched differently for each of the playable keys. Press the arrow keys up or down to transpose the virtual keyboard up or down 1 octave. So oh, and then up here it actually shows by how much it is transposed, or how many octaves we are jumping. So this would be the middle. 1 octave down, -12, 2 octaves down, -24. Cool. And then to come out of chromatic mode, I guess I press function and track just again. So now, just for shits and giggles, I am gonna choose another track, enter chromatic mode. Okay. So again, I'm still not sure what the difference is between selecting a track by simply hitting the corresponding button, or by pressing and holding track and then selecting. Let's see if something changes up here. It definitely is, because when I'm pressing and holding the track, it's giving me the name of the sample up on the top of the display, as opposed to just pressing the button without holding the track button. And again, I don't know what that means, what the difference is, but there is in fact a difference which I can see up there. Okay, I'm sure that will be clarified later on. Okay, using mute mode. You can mute any of the sequencer tracks in this mode. Unlike chromatic mode, it makes no difference which track is active when this mode is activated. You can access all tracks simultaneously. Okay, so again, you can mute any of the sequencer tracks. Okay, so unlike chromatic mode, it makes no difference which track is active when this mode is activated. You can access all tracks simultaneously. All right, make sure a pattern is playing. Press the function plus bank key to enter mute mode. I was messing around with this yesterday, I think. Press any of the trigger keys to mute the corresponding track. Press again to unmute. The color of the trigger keys indicate the mute status. Unlit keys are muted and green keys are active tracks. So now everything is active. Now nothing is active, and I guess the same goes for the MIDI tracks, which make no difference because I'm not controlling anything with the MIDI tracks right now. So that's function and bank. And I suppose this will come handy when we are trying to live jam on the Digitakt, because as opposed to having to press and hold function to mute things, I can just enable the mute mode and I no longer need two hands. I can just do it with one hand, which is not a bad thing when you're live performing. Okay, 5.4, tempo. To change the BPM setting, open the tempo menu by pressing the tempo key. Let's choose another pattern. Not that one. Runner 2000 or some some nice patterns in here. Okay, so to change the BPM setting, open the tempo menu by pressing the tempo key, which is this guy, I think. Yeah. Use the level data knob to change the tempo. And again, I can do this. If I press and hold it, then it will change it faster. As opposed to what's the maximum BPM on this thing? Oh, 300, okay. And what's the slowest? 30. Amazing. 1 second, please. Cool. My apologies, I just had to close my window because somebody's cooking. Okay, so where was I? It's way too fast. The arrow keys up or down change the tempo in fractional steps. Yeah, we determined that yesterday already. Note that you can set both the tempo and the separate tempo for every track, for every pattern. Note that you can set both the tempo and the separate tempo for every pattern. On the main interface screen, press and hold arrow left keys. Press and hold arrow keys, left or right, to nudge the tempo 10% up or down temporarily. Release the key to revert to the original tempo. Oh, so it's like if you're trying to beat sync. Oh, I see. Speed it up a bit. Oh yeah, so if you're trying to beat sync to another source like a turntable or whatnot, Nick, this might be useful for you to know with those amazing turntables. Yep. Which is equivalent of slowing down the tray or speeding it up, I guess. Yep. Let's go back to this view. All right, about the tracks, 6. Good stuff. Now we're learning about audio tracks. That's awesome. The Digitakt has 8 audio tracks. Each audio track contains one sound and the parameter settings in the parameter pages: trigger, source, filter, amp, and LFO. To select an audio track to edit, press and hold track key and then press one of the trigger keys, 1 to 8. Okay. The MIDI tracks, the Digitakt also has 8 dedicated MIDI tracks. The MIDI tracks are used to control external MIDI-equipped gear. Each MIDI track can trigger a chord of up to 4 notes with adjustable parameters such as velocity and length. Control pitch, bend, and aftertouch, as well as 8 freely assignable MIDI control change parameters. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, probability. Ooh. Okay. Okay, now I'm getting really excited. Good stuff. The MIDI tracks function almost the same way as the audio tracks, with features such as parameter locks, LFO modulation, micro timing, trigger conditions, individual track length, and time signature settings. To select a MIDI track to edit, press and hold track key and then press one of the trigger 9 to 16 keys. Okay, awesome. Editing the tracks. I wonder if I should just maybe stop here and get back to this tomorrow, because this seems, yeah, this seems like it would be a good thing to do all in one shot and not just start it now and leave it in half and then pick it up in the next stream. Okay, let's see how much time. Yeah, so we've also almost been going for an hour, so I think, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna cut it here, and I will see you guys in the next one where we are gonna do the sequencer, and I think that's where this whole thing really gets interesting, because these first two weren't all that super exciting. I mean, this is all good stuff to learn about, and obviously you have to learn to walk. You have to learn to crawl before you walk, before you run. Yeah, and I've been learning to crawl in the last two streams, but this looks like in the next one it's going to start getting more interesting. Sequencer, selecting a pattern, pattern control, pattern recording modes, grid recording, live recording, trigger types, yeah, the trigger page, grid recording mode. Yeah, so this is, I'm definitely not going to get into this right now, because this is a masterclass on its own. So that's really cool. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to stop it here. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, please do feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Yeah, that would be really nice to get some feedback as to what it is that you guys would like to see or not see. I mean, this is a silly way of learning about a synth, and the only reason why I decided to make a live stream out of it is because why the hell not? And I do realize it might not be the most exciting subject on the planet, but I do believe that in order to learn all this stuff properly and in order to make good use of it, you really have to start from the beginning and learn, just basically go through the manual, read the fucking manual. Because there are so many things in every manual that, you know, you think you know, but then you really don't. And then you basically spend all this money on this nice gear. And you don't know how to use half of its features because you were too lazy to read the manual. So I decided to read the manual and put it out there online if somebody is crazy enough to actually tag along and watch me read manuals and figuring out how things work for hours. So that's why I'm here. Again, take it or leave it. I'm just gonna keep doing this because it makes sense to me. Okay, cool. I'm gonna shut up now. Thanks very much again for watching. I will see you guys in the next one, which I don't have a schedule yet. Eventually, I'm gonna come up with a schedule and we'll take things from there. Okay, peace.